Very good morning, children. Children, in our last lecture, we had studied about two of the natural resources, that is air and water. Okay. Before going into further of the chapter, we would just revise what we did in our last lecture. Children, we had just begun with lesson number 1, that is natural resources, air, water, and land. And in that, I had told you about what are natural resources. Okay, air, water, and land are the factors important for sustaining the living world on earth. Okay, they are our basic needs. Okay, and these all are termed as natural resources. Okay, children, so air, water, and land are called as natural resources. These resources are obtained from the nature, so they are called as natural resources. Then, children, I had shown you one figure where you had three terms, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Children, I had even explained you the meaning of that. First is lithosphere. Lithosphere means anything related to land. The word litho means land. Okay. Then comes hydrosphere. Anything related to water. Okay. Hydro means water. And the last but not the least is atmosphere. Atmo means air. So, anything related to air is atmosphere. Okay, children? So, air, water, and land are called as Earth's atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere, respectively. Okay? Then we had seen about proportion of land and water, right? Land constitutes about 29%, whereas water constitutes about 71% of our earth. Okay. Then we had seen about 5 layers of atmosphere. The downmost layer is troposphere. It contains about 80% of the total mass of gases. Then above that is stratosphere. It contains 19% of the gases. Then is mesosphere and ionosphere. It contains very less amount of gases. And exosphere contains no gases. Okay. Then we had seen about proportions of various gases in the air. Children, you can refer to page number 2 of your textbook. Okay. I am just revising what we did in our earlier lecture. So just see figure 1.3 and various proportions of gases in air. You can see that nitrogen occupies 78%. Then comes oxygen. Oxygen is 21%. Then comes argon. Argon is 0.9%. Then is other constituents of air, that is 0.07%. And last but not the least is carbon dioxide, that is 0.03%. Okay, children? So from this we can infer that air is a mixture of several gases and it is the chief constituent of Earth's atmosphere. Okay, children? But besides these gases, air also contains water, vapor, and dust particles. Children, Then we had seen about some uses of gases in air. First is nitrogen. Nitrogen helps the living things to build the necessary proteins. It is also useful in the production of ammonia and in airtight packaging of foodstuffs. Okay, children? Then comes oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for respiration and for combustion. Third, carbon dioxide. Plants use carbon dioxide for producing their food, and it is used in fire extinguishers. Okay. Next is argon. Argon is used in electric bulbs. Then comes helium. Helium is used for obtaining low temperatures and for generating lift. Neon is used in decorative lights and for street lighting. Krypton is used in fluorescent tubes, and xenon is used in flash technology. Okay, children? Then see page number 3. We had talked about air pollution, right? Children, which are the harmful substances that are released in air through the combustion of fuels? Yes, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and soot. Okay, children, then we had seen about a protective shell of earth, that is ozone layer. Okay, where is this ozone layer found? This ozone layer is there in the lower part of stratosphere. Children, what is the use of this ozone layer? The ozone gas absorbs the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. Okay, these are harmful for our earth, and as a result our earth is protected from these rays. Okay, but children, the ozone layer is destroyed by certain activities of us, like ACs and refrigerators. They have certain chemicals like carbon tetrachloride or chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, they get mixed with air and the layer of ozone is destroyed by it. Okay, children? Then we had seen about water. Yes? Children, in nature, water occurs in 3 states. Okay? Some of the characteristics of water are: water does not have a color, it does not have a taste, and it does not have an odor. Odor means smell. Okay? Many substances get naturally dissolved in water, and hence it is called as a universal solvent. Okay? Children, the blood of animals and the sap of the plants contain a very high proportion of water. No living thing can survive without water, and so water is called as life. Okay, children? Then we have seen about a pie diagram wherein it shows distribution of water on earth, right? Water available for drinking is very low. Okay, and water obtained from seas and oceans is large, but whatever water is there available for drinking, it is sufficient for us. Okay, children? Now we will see about then we had seen about land. Okay, there are layers of land. Children, what are they? We had seen, right? The downmost layer is bedrock. Okay, children? Minerals are found in these bedrocks. Then above that was layer of soil and small rocks. Then above that is immature soil, and above that is soil, and the topmost layer is humus. Okay, children? And humus is formed by decomposition of the remains of plants and animals. Okay, children? Yes. We had finished up till here. Now we will see the process of soil formation. The soil on the land is formed by a natural process. The abiotic components of the soil are supplied through the weathering of bedrock. Due to the heat, cold, and water of the sun, wind, and rain, respectively, the bedrock breaks down into pieces. Okay, children? Stones, sand, and soil are formed from these pieces. Microbes, worms, insects are found among them. Rodents like mice and rats are also found here. The roots of the trees growing on the land also help weathering of the rocks. That is why, children, trees are very much important. Why? Because the roots of the trees, they also help in the weathering of the rocks. Okay, and so the soil is formed. The process of soil formation is very slow and continuous, and it takes about 1,000 years for a 2.5 centimeter thick layer of mature soil to form. Okay, children? Next, soil can get destroyed in a short period due to floods, storms, and human activities such as mining. Okay, children? The formation of soil is a very slow process, and it takes about 1,000 years to form a small thick layer of soil. Okay, but children, this soil can get destroyed in a short period due to floods, storms, and human activities. Okay, that is why it is necessary, children, to conserve the soil and prevent erosion of land. And children, what is the solution of this? The solution is to increase the green cover of land. That means to plant more and more trees. Okay. Next, children, what do you mean by the word humus? That we'll see. Humus is a layer formed on soil due to the decomposition of dead plants and animals by microbes. Okay, children? Humus supplies nutrients to the soil. Clear? Humus is also important for aerating the soil, means giving the soil sufficient air, and for holding water in the soil. Okay, humus plays an important role for two things. First, it gives the soil its air, and it holds the water. Okay, children? The proportion of humus in the upper layer of a good fertile soil is about 33% to 50%. Okay, children? Next, forests on land got buried underground due to the great upheavals that took place on earth many years ago, and after that the process of formation of fossil fuels took place. Okay, children? What are fossil fuels? The fuels obtained from the land that got buried underground, they are called as fossil fuels. Okay, we get fuels like petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin, and other useful materials like tar and wax from the fossil fuel called crude oil. Okay, children? What do we get from crude oil? We get fuels like petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin, and other useful materials like tar and wax from the fossil fuel called crude oil. Okay, children? Next, living things use land, water, and air available on earth, and so does man. Okay, however, the portions of these resources are actually put to use are very small. Land 29% is used, fresh water 0.3% is used, and oxygen only 21% is used. Okay, Children, it is very much necessary for man to control his greed. Okay? These natural resources are meant for all the living things. Okay? What are the institutes that work for these? India Meteorological Department, that is IMD, and it was established in 1875. Okay, children? With this, we finish the chapter. We'll just briefly revise what have we learned from this chapter. The elements available in the nature which fulfill the basic needs of living things are called as natural resources. Air, water and land are important natural resources. Soil has both biotic and abiotic components or constituents. There are many constituents of air such as nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, inert gases, water vapor and dust particles. Okay, children? The ozone layer is a protective shell of the earth, and natural resources should be used carefully and sparingly. With this, children, we finish chapter number 1. Thank you.